Good evening, everyone. Thank you, media fraternity, for turning up in such a short notice. The office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union has convened this press conference to address a matter of serious concern which directly affects the rights and the future of the Nagas, which is the illegal occupation of land by non-locals individuals using fraudulent documents. The office has undertaken internal fact findings, and we possess credible and documentation and proof of these unlawful activities. We want to be very clear, and please be reminded that we are not against the non-local communities who are doing business here and living peacefully within our state. However, we strongly oppose those individuals who comes in the guise of doing business and earning a livelihood in our state and engage in illegal activities like the illegal occupation of land. One such case involves Mr. Nirmal Jain, who has illegally procured land and illegally procured an indigenous certificate. He claims that he is a genuine citizen, genuine indigenous of Nagaland. However, the proof and evidences which we have in our office speaks otherwise. Subsequently he has purchased land and engaged in multiple transactions which he is not legally entitled to undertake. The DNSU has gathered sufficient evidence in this matter, and we are bringing this into the public attention not because of biasness or hatred towards anybody, but to protect the rights and the land of the Nagas. Let it be known that the office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union will not be taking law into our own hands. We will be officially submitting a letter to the government through the Deputy Commissioner of Dimapur tomorrow and urge the government to initiate a thorough investigation and take proper legal action against the culprit. Furthermore, we also appeal to our politicians, to our bureaucrats, to our Naga national workers and influential Naga people not to support and not to shield such individuals. Let the law take its own course of action. We do know and understand the level of influence such person has in our state. He is someone who boldly declares that he is closely connected with the politicians, with the bureaucrats and all these things. But the rights of the indigenous people cannot and should not be compromised under any circumstances. The office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union remains committed to safeguarding the interests of the Naga people and will continue to be a voice against any injustice in all forms. That's from my part. I would like to give time to our colleagues and President to highlight in detail.
Thank you, RGS. The gist of the issue regarding today's press conference has been clearly explained by RGS. However, I would also like to add some points. Naga Manukhanto Article 371A Act Mohangke protect Kurigenas explicitly protects non-locals from exploiting us. Regarding the ownership of land also, this means that non-locals are legally prohibited from purchasing lands within Nagaland. Any transaction that attempts to bypass or violate these protections, including through proxy ownership or the fraudulent use of indigenous certificates, is illegal, null and void and will be challenged. On May 29, DNSU also gave a press release regarding this. Manu non-locals can be fraudulent means para inia kurina mati kini gene buhi ase aru itu ekla nohuina tai khan la bitor de transaction kuri ase aru itia this particular name Nirmal Jain tai illegally fraudulent means para indigenous certificate loi gene ase aru he is one land mafia buo tai ini mati laga pata khan bi tai temper kuri gena bikiri kurubo manu non indigenous manu khan ode bikiri kurubo ina kuri gena ahi ase tai tu bole tu 2002 de indigenous certificate banai na ase itu bi mahan GS para coalition we have compelling evidence to show that tai tu bole tu pasal non indigenous na tai 1980s de Dimapur de ahala ase ine mahan itu khan khobor pura evidence pura ase man lode aru tai tu le tu mahan tai ke office de bi jaine log paise ye de bi aise ena one tai tu le tu ma futani para ko ase moi tu le tu dangor manu khan ke jaine ase like under naga political groups khan ke bi dangor manu khan ke jaine ase government de boli dangor manu khan ke jaine ase koine imam futani para bi mahan ke ina bi koi je to mahan tu le tu we will, like we say, will let the law takes its own course of actions, but the government should take and initiate strict action, investigate kuro lagi, puine bahan tu itu government ke mani ase.
The office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union, we have studied, we have thoroughly discussed, we have intensive research, and we found that Nirmal Jain is no other than a land mafia in Dimapur, associated with some high-profile people in Nagaland. And we are also shocked to see that he had already acquired buildings and properties in and around Dimapur in someone names. So, if the government of the day can evade the land encroachment in airport Dimapur, then the government has a right to seize the property of Nirmal Jain under the Article 371A, ownership and transferring of land and its resources, preserving the traditional rights of the Naga people. And the very land of the Nirmal Jain can be used as a public property or for development purpose. Thank you.
Regarding this issue, we had a presidential meeting on 21st this month Saturday, the presidential meeting that's a week. So kemati se mala keman constitutive units kan president kan GS kan mati na to labi thoroughly discuss krise aro we sob manu bi koi daise ekjon manu pra baharla manu ekjon pra charta pasta plots properties ina loi thakile aro dushan bi ne same follow koi daise mala future generation to ki inherit kuro mala future generation na bachan gare to mati to na thagau jauda aro itu one of the biggest crime ase law legally law there is different only fraud documents pra idu banai gena manu ke fool kuri gena and I'm sure tomba government officials only kon to big shots can be involved ase there ina tai sob lo de tai up tha garni ina puro parise so the Dimapur Naga Student Union we seek the public support also. Kena mane manikla prado voice ko dhailu kam hai. Man lote 12 tribes ase. DNSU under DNSU 12 tribes ase. Sob manu prabi to have to fight kuro le lage. Ito to take na ina wena. We have mana decision to ito ase. Ito ane man urge kore. Public kibi man na ito fight ito strong from man ke support ko diyo wena urge kore ase.
The involvement of non-locals in buying and selling tribal land is highly sensitive and often a controversial issue. It typically involves legal, historical and ethical concern, especially with regards to tribal sovereignty, land rights and exploitation. At the end, the government officials should also be questionable as of how these things have turned this ugly. Thank you.
Any question? can you take us back to how these activities came to light?
So, Dimapur Naga Students Union, we gave a press conference. I think last year we also say that we will be doing a verification, especially in ILP. Now, when we talk about verification of ILP, most of the people assume that Dimapur Naga Students will just walk out of the street and started, asking ILP inner line permit or pass to random people, but actually it was not like that. We just said verification in a sense like to some high profile people who are misusing the identity. Problem means like procuring of Indigenous certificate, or maybe they came before prior to 1960 or not. So that we actually mean. So we are doing this verification, fact finding on our part. Then we came to this this Nirmal Jain issue came to the light. On asking around to few non-locals individuals who have procured land, whether they are indigenous or not, almost all of them, non-locals that have purchased land here in Dimapur, is all sold by the Nirmal. Then we went and we also had a talk with him because he's senior, elder. So with respect, we went to his office and we also had a talk. Then we found out itu Nirmal Jain la kahani tu public na jane. Holy be high profiles kan kunba kan noile down man kan noile kunba government officers kan be bureaucrats kan be Nirmal la itu tala activities ta ki kore tu jan thakino parabo. That I highly doubt it. Kilo man ke log ko jande Nirmal la itu ada pato khudbo jande sab man be ekta photo hai. Aur ija bhi Dimapur de mati विकास है तो माध्यकुन विकास है तो निर्मल जैन विकास है कोई तो ये तो माध्यकुन आसे तो निर्मल जैन विकास है कोई माध्य तो निर्मल जैन ला माध्य आसे कोई आरो ट्रांसैक्शन का की खान सब निर्मल जैन पर कुरास है माध्य तो दाम फिक्स करबो ऊपर सब तो जाइक ने साची को तो डॉक्यूमेंट्स तो नागा मामला इना था किसी तो he was smart ताई तो smart आसे honestly तो ताई लेन माफिया था किसी he came Nagaland that early 80s and then tai to Sohalan Shekina couldn't ask to look accountant for 2 years and then that's how Tara first tai Dimapur hat to the 80s to what he did was tai indigenous certificate kina kono lotion to I will give you the files in details media sa mo flash ko mohan ita the public domain expose ko kana one national mohan ito expose press itu tala Indian certificate ase 2002 de apply korna thakise to 2002 de to Nirmal Jain son of late Balchan Jain resident of Kalibari village town council in Dimapur district of the state of Nagaland belongs to Marwari community and that she Nirmal Jain and his family ordinarily reside in Kalibari village a town in Dimapur district of the state Nagaland and his legitimate guardian name has been registered in the electoral roll published on 05/02/1964 electoral roll there vice serial number 681 kindly note this electoral roll 1964 there serial number 681 tahun voting rights ada saya sapra tadi indigenous edition to ami kan 64 681 serial number de jai shakule to I will prove that kina korna tai either tai government officials logo tai link up thaki ni to banaise na tai government ki tai dhokha de kina banaise itu thakibo clear to tai bishi chalak pai he is very clear, he is a very mastermind, everybody knows about him down high profile tai jan thaibo tala itu tala ki risk ase 681 there Balchan Jain to ami itu dikhilu she and then I call him first motel office jata itu ki gobo I'm gonna just pro conditioner he's talking about all these high profile people national workers nami is a politician and he even said that before I was born, he is here in Dimapur. So he duplicate Naga, he original Naga dish, and his attitude, the audacity to say, "Kilo monoga se government ko dibi, government ko diya se." Nah, so the attitude of Nirmal Jain, boldly speaking that government ko dibi, itu matlab to mukhan ki bolab dat lagi se, ki involvement of government bi asni ki the way he boldly called to. So we were also wondering how can he even blame the government? Mula mukhan la pamne tu. तो मखान इतना साधु मैं ताऊं रेगुलेशन कराने देता हूँ ताई तला भाई खान भी ऐसा कुछ है ना तो तला भाई खान निर्मल कुमार जैन तला नाम आसे ना बालचंद जैन लाग छोकरा निर्मल कुमार जैन तला भाई ला नाम प्रदीप जाजारी दिलीप जाजारी अशोक जाजारी आधार कार्ड पैन कार्ड सब and they are all related son of बालचंद जैन तो प्रदीप जाजारी ला documents kan tibi son of Baljan Jain लिखना से अशोक जाजारी भी तो और तला दादू निर्मल कुमार जैन which निर्मल we are talking about 681 electoral roll ते तो itu Baljan Jain तो तला बाबा ला नाम निश्ना example आमी खान नागा मन भी हिनोतो नोइले होका भी विश्वास तो itu Baljan Jain family पहिला था का तो अपनी खान भी आटे ननी for electoral आटे हमारे सबो already documents इतना से okay already anyone is open to write for आटे and seek अपनी खान भी सब बोलो तो होना तो इतु बालचंद जैन family खान तो खानदान खान तो मणिपुर ना कुछ में जगह ऐसे कुछ तो what he did was इतु बालचंद जैन ने तला बाबा नो है और इतु बालचंद जैन तो 681 के बालचंद जैन था का तो तला बच्चा खान तो Baurilal Jan Balchan Jain, nah, it's very hard to pronounce actually. Mahavir Prasad Balchan Jain, Kapur Chand Balchan Jain. If you want to note it down, you can note it down again. I think media is not, yeah. So, 681 1964 electoral itu Balchan Jain to Nirmal Jain la baba no. Because Nirmal Jain la itu Balchan Jain la chokra which he is claimed to be his father is प्रदीप जाजर ला बाबा से दिलीप जाजर बाबा से अशोक जाजर बाबा से अरे तहम तीन तो निर्मल कुमार जन ला भाई का नसुद ना तो किना कोनो उ तो बालचंद जन ला छोकरा अलग इतला छोकरा अलग और दूसरा बालचंद जन और मैं आई वेंट थ्रू ऑल दिस 1964 electoral roll तो दूसरा बालचंद जन और द्विता से मैं साथ दे तो बालचंद जन भी nowhere it is related to this Nirmal Jain. तो ताई इतु indigenous तो ताई recruit कितना ताई माती भी किंगे ना से माती किंगे ना माती भी पाता number 40 dap number 218 under block number 6 Dimapur Moza number 1 so itu tala pata भी इता से he think he can outsmart us ताई documents दिशे he is very good in documentation but unfortunately ताई इतु indigenous certificate पर ताई के दूर तो इतना तक भी फोर लेंगे ताई माती बिका से ताई पर बिका से ताला माती पहले प्रासुकली भी documents तो ताला नहीं and his active involvement in selling of land to his own people and non-locals तो 1963 पर आगे पर आहमान खान ना ये नागालैंड बोई जाएगी ना 1963 before the creation of Nagaland state आहमान खान तो their identity is here nun nagas indigenous na their identity is tahan murli kero murgudo so their dream is to get one small land so tai jane to ki nun locals man khan kun ide 1960 आगे प्रायश tahan to yete thake bala se bacha khami tar brota boshe they are not going back to their native homeland so tai itkhane mati bikashe randomly na tampering of duck number and tampering of cheetah book everything hogi na side wrong occupation so tai itkan sa manipulate kar tai digagi na sa I was told that kunma man ke tu indigenous na thaka man ke bhi mati digagi na sa bushi so itu kan mo publicly expose ko ba paisha ko le to now in regard to this itu Nirmal Jain tu tai Nagaland आई कि ना ताई first ताला काम तो ताई accountant को टशी कुछ है सोहनलाल शेट्टी ना को मला जेते accountant 2 years mission ना को ना ताई बोई था कि ना ताई इतु मातीला business start हुई मातीला business start हुई कि ना ताई एक बार दिल्ली दी भी same thing disputed area खान जगह दे ताई माती local खान के हुना तो वे बस भी किंचे कुछ है तातो locals गुंडा खान की use करके ना ताई माती किंचे ता पैसा बिशु कमाश ताते भी ताते पैसा बिशु कमा तो ताई नागालैंड दे खुशी मुशी कुर्बो पारा नेशनल दिल देता ना पड़े तो तो लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ताला पीछे कराशो ताइतु आरा ताइ दिल्ली वापस आएगा ना नागालैंड वापस आएगा ना ही इज कंटिन्यूइंग दिस एक्ट एंड आई वाज इवन टोल्ड दैट ताइ कोन तो ताइ इदु गन प्राय गन पॉइंट प्राय ताके खिता दिसु कुछ ताइ बाहर प्राय आएगा अपनी इतु क्यों तो मे बी ही वाज इनटू सम बिग मातिला कुनबा ट्रांसलेशन डाउन कुने थाशनी की ही अर्न्स अ लॉट ऑफ मनी तो इना ताइ ताइ आरा ताइ ताइ लेंगटा होकिना नागालैंड तासे आते नागालैंड स्टार्ट करासे तो माटी तो पहिला पर ताइ किन्ने राखिन थाहा तो ताइ माटी तो बिट बाय बिट बिकासे आरो आवाज तो ताइ कुनबा नागा मन तो ताइ लोगो इन्वॉल्व थाका मन तो ऑलरेडी ताइ लोगो पर भी हाथी जेसे कुछ माटी भी ता कंट्रोल लिसे कुछ तो एट वन पॉइंट आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू बी बायस हियर विल बी कुन नागा मन नाम पर माटी लगिना नागा मन लो बने तो नो वन इज आई एम सेइंग क्लियर टू इन्वॉल्वमेंट किबा किबा इन्वॉल्वमेंट फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम खान नागा मन की इते आमी आता मन बिखातो इने एक छुटु मुटु कोर्ट केस करे क्रिमिनल कोर्ट केस करे मखान तते गारंटर बिसारे तो पैसा करने गारंटर जाए के ना मन के बेल कोडे मन जाए कोर्ट पर मातिन हो जाए हम खान नागा मन फंस जाए तो एग्जांपल तो नागा मन ना जन बीच पास किना से तो इतु निर्मल जन तो ही कैन नॉट कंटिन्यू डूइंग दिस इतो आमी खान ला माटी आमी खान ला नागा मन ला माटी त किना करने फ्रीली यूज कर परासे ताइ कोति बे इतु डॉक्यूमेंट्स kan बनावा परासे ना अरे द ओडीसी टू से दैट आमी के नगोबी गवर्नमेंट को भी गवर्नमेंट बनाने दिशे स्माल कुरिगिना ना तो ताइ के ऑफिस दी मातिशे वी गेव हिम enough time to कि प्रूफ करबी कि आप अपने खंदर 1960 आगे पर आछे त प्रूफ को पराना किल त मिसा आछे त फ्रॉड त तला बाबा तो 1960 आगे पर आइ केना आसिकन त कोइ केना सलबी बालजन जन दुईटा तीनटा आछे तो एंड सम ऑफ द बालजन जन came between that year ना तो इतो तला बाबा न हा मन खनला हिस्ट्री कोइ केना मोखने को आछे तो तला असल बाबा बालजन जन तो 681 serial number 1964 electoral roll te nahi to it is the electoral roll itu electoral ase all the details here na तो अपने खान की मैं तो शेते सब कॉपी अपने खान के WhatsApp ते पता है दो तो इतो तो we are demanding the district administration in the government of Nagaland to further investigate in his active involvement into land mafia itu he is very powerful honestly I'm saying माध्यात्म तो आमी खान ता खाना समाज के भी मातिशे तो समाज के लिए माता तो भविष्य की समाज खान पर भी ताकि किबा किबी तालो पोटे किबा कार्रवाई करबोनी की बिकॉज reputation of the Marwar समाज बिया हो जबो ruining the reputation because it involvement illegal activities involvement to the entire I was told that he is also one of the respected in their समाज तो मातिशे हा तो निर्मल जन गुसा लोगो समाज ला लीडर खानु उठिकिना ताके ब्रेक करसे which means he is very powerful एकदम powerful and people respect him also usually elders them take respect na और he is a habitual offenders तला केस बिशा से हले मखन एविडेंस प्रूफ नाइल मखन भी तो कोल मन नै हले भी तला ऑफेंड ताइ तो ही इज habitual offenders आरा ताइला आदत है कि any difficulties I should ताइ तो ओलाओ पारे so this time also he thinks that he will do it will be प्रेशर तो ताइ उतो जब दालगिन कोशिश करसे हले भी पारा नै इतो तो आमी खान तो जिति इतो गवर्नमेंट अफ नागालैंड इडिशन ऑर्डर काम ते नागा मतलब माटी खान भी इदि करिना सिरो ना जिति आम खान ना एडमिशन खान और गवर्नमेंट अफ नागालैंड प्रा इतो निर्मल जैन इतो लैंड माफिया इतो फ्रॉड के एक्शन ला नै कोइले तो आम खान पब्लिक खान के आम खान रिक्वेस्ट करसे इतो तो नागामनला भाल काम करनी करसे नागामनला आइडेंटिटी नागामनला माटीला खतम कासे दे इट गाडी त पब्लिक खान बुझवा लागे वी विल कंटिन्यूअसली एक्सपोजिंग सच पीपल इंडिजिनस किमान लगिना नागामनला माटी किंगेना से इट और आम खान रिक्वेस्ट करसे कि होइसे नागामन कुन खनता लोग निर्मल लोग इन्वॉल्व थाकिसे कोले तो नले भी निर्मल लोग क्लोज रिलेशन थाकिसे कोले भी इनिका एक्टिविटीज इनिका मन के तो सपोर्ट नकरबी कोई केना पॉलिटिशियंस होबी ब्रेकर्स होबी नेशनल वर्कर्स होबी इतो तो नकरबी कोई केना नेशनल वर्कर्स विल बी द मूवमेंट ऑफ द नेशनल वर्कर्स इज टू प्रोटेक्ट द आइडेंटिटी एंड आवर लैंड आवर इतो माटी आराम करना पहचान करनी तो तखन भी कोई केना politicians also being a politician they are supposed to protect the Nagas they are not supposed to pave a way to the outsiders to exploit the Nagas itu kan itu BGB public kan DNSU kan होता है DNSU kan की इशू जिन इशू चलो public kan होता है support करे this time itu issue भी sensitive है we need your support আৰু ইটোতো একশনটো কৰিব লাগে নহয় সেগুলো ইটো মানকে একশন কৰা কিন্তু তাইতো কন্টিনিউস কৰিব আছে আৰু knowing the fact that DNSU is after him in this case he is still boldly selling off land somewhere in the foreland আৰু ইটো মাটিবি তাইলাবি নহয় আতাইলা আছে হলিবি ডকুমেন্টস তালা নাম পড়বি নহয় তো ইটো আমি খানে গভর্নমেন্ট খানকে রিকোয়েস্ট করছে অথরিটি খানকে রিকোয়েস্ট করছে কারবাই যাব লাগে ইনভেস্টিগেশন যাব লাগে আর ইটো তাইলা তো তারপর 1960 আইবি নাইবি তারপর গৈসা দিলাম তাই তো তালা বাবা তো 1964 লা প্রায় কেন আছে কইছিল তো প্রুভ করবি না তালা বাবা তো কোন দিকে আছে কোন দিকে যারে থাকিছে না এত প্রুফ দিব লাগে তো প্রুফই নাই তো খতম করে গেছে তো আর তাই প্রুভ করছিল তাই দুসামান বালচঞ্জের নাম লই থাকবো তো which is not his father এনা কোন তো বালচঞ্জের না ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্স তো ইমিডিয়েটলি সিজ করব লাগে ইটো কাম তো আমি খান ডিসি কে লেটার দিব আছে দিবলা আছে আমি খান লজিয়াস প্রকাশনা কমিশন অফ নাগাল্যান্ড কি দিবলা আছে sorry itu indigenous to sis korbo lage aru itu indigenous fact indigenous la number tai mati loi kina thaka any privileges and benefit have taken through this indigenous should all be seized should all be stopped koi kina I'm going to koi guess
DNSU today police file FIRB any plans on that or only after approaching the government you expect the government to file suit noto
actually see আমি খান itu first আমি খান কনিশনা public expose করব না করিস আর আমি public expose করছি ক্লিয়ার public expose করছি itu সব জানব লাগে because the way he talk and the way talks are going around he is closely linked with so many high profile it seems না জানি এটা তো মহান দুরানা হলবি দুরুশে কইলে নলে any government officials chances are there that government officials are also involved in issuing such kind of pata to him na tai mati kiman biga ase itu pata bi tai pra banai dia asu to namra naga manas gosbi itu naga man ke mati kin kushi ta ti ko ata pata na jne to kiman square feet ase total length of square feet ase pata number kun ta ase dak number ke ase na block number kun jaga ta ase itu bi na jne to condition itu sab officials can be involved kan thakba pare holi bi condition ami kan public expose kobo ka to for accountability and transparency as a DNSU as an NGO pressure group also to the administrative let the public know ki itu action take lo na mitu itu bishita ami kan effort korbo na ki kola se this administration ko siklo to khota kola kam nai to everything is there shida jaigina seize korbo lage to stop korbo lage to itu indigenous certificate to ini এটা তো indigenous certificate no koi de the government decided to give PRC permanent residence certificate holi pura indigenous takhi to itu kan to sab close kar rakhi bola ke there is no such ki karwai jaishe guli bi itu immediate evidence ase electron 1964 ami kan eta list bi eta ase attachment I will give you tala mati bi eta ase tai mati ami kan ke submit kora itu ekla dishel bi tala number 2 din bi thakko pare itu to pura olai jabo land revenue officer office de jagena tala details sikla to tala naam pra mati kman ase na property kman ase itu ulai jabo to itu to government la ase in fact I mati loine thabi to government na thakshi to encourage kono bhal ase to itu garni itu ami kan public li domain olai gena ase itu bishita ami kan letter likhibo to our commissioner of Nagaland through our DC by tomorrow aro itu to makan presidential meeting bi kurna se we have been discussing regarding this case for so long with our trouble in it also
on the capacity of train station there how much encroachment is going on and it is open secret that previous administrators or officials have given out the land pata illegally that is the issue with the government. So how can you say that the government will be serious about this particular one case also now if they don't want to show that they have been involved? What is the next step if the government does not take action? Just as how they're not taking action in many other cases where land encroachment or land pata is concerned.
See, we have received complaint about that matter also, including this encroachment of government land, public land, Mafia of Nagaland land by individuals. Itu like you said, itu train station la tu encroachment land kan issue tu at district administration with all the COSOs and especially under Naga Council collectively makan itu issue tu itu Naga Council pra lead korna khotor so I think the right person, the right body to give answer is Naga Council, but headed by the Naga Council. Obviously we are also into it with the Naga Council. To hol kwa nishna idu development kurse kulu to idu to when it comes to itu Article 371 there, see I'll tell you Article 371.
Forgive me for stopping you there. But what my colleague asked is, what will be the next step of the DNSU if the state government does not take action on this issue?
Oh, in this issue? No, they will have to. They are supposed to be. They are supposed to be a caretaker of the. Of the safety of the people. I mean, what to say? What do I call it? I forgot. I'm getting nervous now. That's why. Constitution said they are supposed to follow that. No, they are the caretaker. And they are the law enforcement agency. They are the authority, right authority. So it is their duty. They are not above the law. Even if they are authority, they themselves are not above the law.
But
So
Nirmal Jain seems to be very confident that he's not going to get caught.
whoever is involved with whoever government officials is involved with Nirmal Jain, and that is trying to hijack the genuine issues of the DNSU of the Nagas, that government officials will also be exposed. They cannot run away from this. They cannot run away from this.
अच्छा since अपनी जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल का नोली मोस्ट इलेक्शन हो पासे तो अपने अपना बिहार के कोई दिया लगा सब कुछ शुरू तो ताई पता तो ये तो नागा मनु लगा नंबर ले किना ना ताई पेका इशू तो जिने इदु मनु वाला लगा नंबर ले किना पेका मनु भी लोकल मनु भी इदु भी अकाउंटेबल हो लगे तो इशू के दो आनो पड़े अपने एक्सपोज करो ना करो और दो आनो पड़े अपने हम कार्रवाई करो ना
Itina said, there are kinds of fraudster. Legally man ke fraud korala, legally man ke scam korala, illegally korala se. तो आमी खान इतु अपनी लोकल असे, अपनी के जाके ना माती तो निर्मल असेल माती तो अपना डॉक्यूमेंट्स असे तो अपनी तो कबो तुम्हाला माती असे कनो कबो तो कोर्ट जाली भी तो डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपना नंबर बनाएगा ना से तो in that case आमी खान भी तो we are not the right authority to comment on that. कार्रवाई जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन जाएगा ना इन्वेस्टिगेशन जब सीधे तक फॉर एग्जांपल लोकल नंबर माती तो लेके ना से निर्मल तो ना तो यह जरा एक बाय लाइन तो ताई तो सिस्टम तो कुछ खिला से तो nobody can do anything with Nirmal Jain. ताई तो कौन बिशप बताना है तो unfortunately ताई इंडिजिनस पर ताई दुर्गिना एक दिन चुटू दुर्बो का दिता है तो ताई सामने लोग मन बिया कुर्गिना से ताई एक ताई ना हराम मना से तो ताई आजी दुख पासे दिल दिवी जाएगा दुख पासे ये दिवी दुख पासे तो क्या असली ताई एग्जांपल जीटी निर्मल पर डॉक्यूमेंट्स बनाए से ताई नागा मना से ताला नंबर ताला दाग नंबर ठीक नहीं wrong occupation ठीक नहीं तो in that case we can also question that local वाला पर भी दाग नंबर ठीक ताकि से ना पता kan ठीक ताकि से तो even if we know that is Nirmal Jain का मत ऐसा कल भी तो लोकल मन पर ही हराम ऐसे ताई पर लोकल मन पर ताई क्या सपोर्ट पर से तो मुझे ताकि क्यों डूबो होले भी मुझे कहा तो Nirmal Jain ने इशू लाते हैं इतु लोकल पर जो प्राइस के लिए तो that will also prove that he is also actively involved with Nirmal Jain ना नो है तो इजाज़त तो कुन भी नागा मन कुन भी नागा Nirmal Jain की बच्चा बड़ी बाहर आई थी Nirmal Jain तो क्या ताई नेशनल वर्कर्स करने जाते हैं सब ताई ना मुख बहादुर है हम भी कहूँ तो मैं भी अमिताभ बच्चन के जाने कहूँ तो मैं भी सेम रहे तो डिपार्टमेंट पर लोग पूछते फोटो भी खींचे तो मैं भी ना मैं भी वही पता नहीं मिनिस्टर के जाने तो नंबर भी आसे मैं भी को पढ़ूँ तो मैं भी इन नालों नंबर आसे तो श्री नालों ला मैं भी सिर्फ तो फिर नंबर आसे तो as a social worker we are contact मैं भी फोटो खींचना आसे ना और मैं भी नेशनल वर्कर्स के नहीं जाने खानदान खान भी नेशनल वर्कर्स खानदे आसे ना तो मैं भी जाने को तो but these are all misuse ताई इन्हीं misuse को manipulate करते हैं आमी जाना तक तो होय गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स कलना इन्वॉल्वमेंट था पर होली भी ताई गवर्नमेंट कहीं भी ताई misuse करे से इतनी इंडिजिनस तो मुझे जाना तक तो गवर्नमेंट तक भी नाचिंग था बोली नाचिंग था क्यों if I am not wrong होली भी everybody नागा मनो होगी दिमाग में था नागा मनो होगी Ladies mano hobi everybody knows that Nirmal Jain came in early 80s itu सब मन कोई हल Nirmal Jain का कहानी तो अलग हो itu ऐसे
apart from all the facts and figures that you have provided, at the end of the day, what matters is this real Nirmal Jain, whom you allege is now in Manipur, the son of
Balchan is the first name.
Balchan.
There is no such evidence of that, but we can go for RTI also. RTI marking to electoral to she version of na itu to tala baca khan ko jai jai itu makan we do par bol bi.
So what you're alleging is this Nirmal Jain, the so-called Nirmal Jain, is claiming himself to be the son of Baljan Jain. Now Baljan Jain laga bacha be Nirmal Jain ka kagani to taido.
No. Asul to tala babala nam bi Baljan Jain ase. Aru tu manna nam bi Baljan Jain ase.
So okay.
For example, he's Michael Kat. I am Hinoto. To tala babala nam tu kaki thakishe. Aru mala babala nam bi kaki thakishe.
Yes. Okay. So
yes. So I took his father's name and
so now the real sons and daughters of Baljan Jain have you tried contacting them?
No,
Can they come and prove, because in the court of law that will be the only admissible fact.
This land that they fully migrate to
see.
Manipur.
Even if they have a person Baljan Jain bi tala dada bin bhai bin kapur jani to itu kan asu to kina itu tala baba ki claim kara to itu baba to tala chukra khan to alag ase aro Nirmal Jain la bhai khan to alag ase to thik ase in Nirmal ki misa go to haran manase pradip jajaru tala dada bin hogina achan bi go pare halbi other card pan card ase to documentation ase to tadaro durlobo so itu to they don't have to come all the way from Manipur also itu dini they proof if they ase
अच्छा तो सेकेंडली अपनी बोला इन सब तो Thailand mafia किप ऑपरेशन का पासे और Upholding ला साइड वाले भी माटी विकास है तो काय लगा specifically कुंदू एरिया रे काय ऑपरेट करे और सेकेंडली apart from this land mafia अलग खान दे भी इन्वॉल्व फासे ना itu भी अगला कुंदू करे सो तो अलग की दे आरो इन्वॉल्व फासे पब्लिक डोमेन दे
I am all apni ke koi dish noi mati bishi bikai gena ase tai na to Nagaland number ta mati bikai gena ase na to Nagaland to marwari to marwari samajhe to supply korin ko chan to jabi na mati kiman bikai gena ase kiman non locals kamra mase kiman non locals 80% of Baljan Jain bikai asu to we don't have to tell you na I mean sorry Nirmal Jain bikai asu to na kiman non locals ite mati gena ase almost all the lands they bought it from Nirmal Jain. So that is a living witness. तो कौन निश्ना आमी खान एक तो expose करो कैसे आमी खान जाइन को तो माती को तो किंशे को ले तो Nirmal Jain को तो documents का को ले तो नागामला नाम था so this is it होली भी ताते by chance पर नागामला पर किंग ने था किसे और इतु मान खान हुसा पर भी indigenous था किसे indigenous था शिकलो तो किन बो परे that means Baljan Jain is very smart second thing is by chance bro indigenous man 1960 will be indigenous certificate thakane ko libi itb to thik nai na now the problem is mati iman bigai gena se indigenous thaka man na thaka man lo kon government officials kan pra land pata bano ha dum te youtube plains man kan la nun locals kan na indigenous certificate manga na yo that we are also wondering we are also trying to find out na second thing is Nagamandu आजिकल ही तो मीडिया खान लाइशिया नहीं लाइक तो पूरा टाइम तो मीडिया खान इमान तो बात खाने तो एक्सेसिबल खाने तो so नागामन निजो कुमा नागामन तो इतना भी बस्ती वाला जैसे तो ताकन तो नाची तो प्लेन आम खान नॉन लोकल्स के बिगाव ना पड़े कुंता ताकन बिगाव लाइबो तो सामलेन ओनर पुराना मन खान तो नाची में बिगाई से पड़े तो बिगाई दिशे नाचन के ना और इतु नॉन लोकल के बिगाई और इतु नॉन लोकल भी लोई लोई से नाचन के होइछ भी किनसे बोले तो then officers jaga na pata banamu to breeders and officers kan hudu to takan ko you are not supposed to buy this ko parbo to am kan change regulation article 371 and land revenue officer thing regulation ka se ko parbo to so one is there is a high chances kun ma man system to kuskini bhi kam kora thake parbe na ami to ka ase halbi first thing Nirmal ke action lo like we need to stop him tai to jane ase DNSU la pishap na jana se mati sab bigai kina Nagaland mati sab bigai kina pola jabol asu to cross process na pola jabol asu to idu ko thobo we need to stop him
So all the people who have bought land from him, the non-locals, will they be displaced?
we will do fact finding if we find any guilty mo kurmo alu din bi atai khan Jain samaj kan aise Jain samaj kan adu Jain samaj kan bi निर्मल बरा लाइन कुटिशु कुशु ना तो होली भी जैन समाज को जैन समाज को तीजो अच्छा मंदिर ठाकिशे ना for example this issue is very important sorry is related this issue only okay but it's very important to Naga people should know अच्छा non locals kan indigenous certificate दी के ना माटी किन्मो पड़े indigenous certificate नहीं कोई तो माटी किन्मो ना पड़े ना नोए तो non locals organization kan किन्हे की दी के ना माटी किन्हे under which legal terms what documents under which legal terms can the non Nagas NGOs buy a land it is very important okay at the कौन legal terms लिखे ना से आमी kan डांगो company kan नोएले NGOs kan के बाहर मन का आगे ना माटी किन्हे नहीं दे तो we stop them तो ये तो धक्का मन kan तो where I'm saying this is chances क्या से बोले तो आमी kan तो example Bengali समाज ना बिहारी समाज नोएले जैन समाज मारोनी समाज का नंबर माटी 1000 acres of land किन्हीं ने रखी बुत हम तो इन्हों को दुमा तो मन के लगा दिवो कि बोल पारो तो under which legal term दिखी ना से इतनी भी मान कुछ बोला कि give did be example Nagaman हाथ पर in terms of crop किन लो वो कौन Nagaman तो पैसा को लेते पकड़ा जो ना तो in terms of crop किल बोल भी नाम पर तो give did ना माटी तो give did पर ताकन give did वो तो they have money एक बार itu खुल दिबे ना 1 week they pura Nagaland ki no ikan to they have money so this is the thing that the government of Nagaland should also itu issue kan itu chances of exploiting us in so many ways itu kan bon karo lagi even the non locals NGOs they cannot buy land stop korbo lagi makan religious practice ase mandir thakbo lage noile kiba kunba man family kan give the dikena school kan khulishe that's a different thing but apart from that it is stop korbo lage mostly they have money and NGOs non local NGOs they have money and there is no such legal terms that the outsiders NGOs can buy land na likha nahi to at least indigenous thaka man to kino pare ke na ase for individual non Nagas indigenous to halbi itu samaj la under the indigenous na thaka man bhi kam kara su to तो एक organization to human being नोए ताकन कौन तो legal documents दिखना माती किना से I mean submit कर किना NGO से engineer certificate नहीं तो ताकि ना माती किना पड़े इतना भी stop कर बोला के मोहन इतनी भी ताकन क्यों किना से मोहन ताकन मुझे अपनी खान भाषण प्रोजेक्ट समाज खान माती किना से बोले तो अपनी खान कुछ indigenous तो develop भी नोए organization non living thing ना तो किना दिशे कुछ ले इन्हीं किन शो कुछ तो मतलब ताकन इन्हीं किन लो शे इकुट दिक्कत था ना इन्हीं बना लो शो कुछ Ara makan we are thinking to buy more land and bring more development in Dimapur kasi. Nah, we are thinking to buy more land again, build a school for Naga people kasi. To build a school for Naga people, we gonna pura Dimapur hi enjoy number kingin just like what hobo. Little things na it be sabon lagi tu.
Exactly which areas also are there that he has occupied land and selling it off so that whoever is buying at this moment they will be
I think
it's going to be disputed or like the problem
disputed areas here I don't know how this
area
I mean I mean, I think I have kept the details in my home. Okay. See, one is specific details. Will be I can question. Will be budget. But I can specific details. Will be if a person is found to be a genuine. Nah, tai genuine talking tai ke limelight or libi it we I think they can also put up a defamation case against us. So as of now.
Just mention the areas.
That as of now to unless we do fact finding pressure.
We also need facts and reports.
See, first of all, let us stick here. I mean, verification is going on. Nah, fact finding I say we cannot just randomly give out. Please understand our position also. They also have their rights. They also have their advocates. They are due legal procedure. They are also doing. Now let's stick it to the Nirmal having this fake indigenous certificate. Fraud करके ना government के धोखा दी के ना ताई बनाई के ना ताई तो indigenous के ना इतु लोई के ना माटी किमान किन के ना से ताला property किमान से इतु seize करबो लगे ताला indigenous seize करबो लगे in order to stop his other activities also. Are it indigenous number? Kiman the benefit? Kiman the activities? Nah, key business course. Kiman beneficiaries tay kaloi gana se. It will stop krobaga. First, let's stick to this, and then for other, if we find anything again, we'll call you back and we'll expose it in the public domain.
Last thing, verification. to now really enforce strictly that these are not from way back, they have fake indigenous certificate.
Actually, encroachment of land and issuing of indigenous certificate is a bit different from ILP. Actually, again, that's different thing. ILP is actually, it is not called inner line permit. Actually, ILP is supposed to be inner line pass. Or Aisha, they can extend, but they cannot renew again. They have to go back.
Someone like Nirmal Jain has fake documents, so he's going to get ILP
exactly.
easily.
So poila takan government of Nagaland pra ILP nigya karni ILP impose no kara karni to itu Nirmal Jain kan pra itu hasu to. That is why ILP is needed kwasa mo kanto na. So as of now administration kan pra ILP impose kurishe na. So let us also be as a citizen, as a US and media fraternity, at this juncture, at least government is doing something. तो हमें कौन government के support करले बाल होने की, एक बार fully implement तो करना, पहले आस्ते face by face. In notice that आना चलो भी मिज़ोरम में भी, ना, कुछ हो भी तक हमें first आइल की थकाप में they were hiccup, ना, बाहर पर smooth बदलो पड़ा नहीं. There were so lot of hurdles and loopholes. So substate भी ना था इसे तो obviously मोहन government of Nagaland भी इटे impose करने तो problem तो थकी बो inconvenience थकी बो but let us support the government इटे ILP बाहर पर impose कराप से थे offline kan government के allowed कर भी इटे से थे we'll see what modalities should be there किनागा what type of mechanism to check इटे तो आरो मोहन we can further proceed on that part. Yeah.
When are you submitting to DC?
By tomorrow. Actually, we thought of submitting today, but due to some unavoidable circumstances, we couldn't.